The gaming world is no stranger to lawsuits, and specifically Activision is also no stranger to lawsuits. Yeah, Activision Blizzard, you know them, they are the company that owns Call of Duty. And yeah, they've had lawsuits in the past, as pretty much every gaming company probably has. I know for sure they had one that started many years ago, where they ended up settling on it, where they paid out $54 million to settle a gender discrimination lawsuit. I think that pretty recently just wrapped up, actually. Well, it just came out that Activision is again being sued, but this time it has absolutely nothing to do with workplace conditions, gender discrimination, anything like that, but rather an alleged monopoly on the esports market by Call of Duty. Now, there are two professional, I guess, esports gamers that are behind this lawsuit. I don't follow the esports community very much at all, but I'm sure a lot of people do know of them. One is called H3cz, I assume it's pronounced Hex, and the other one is called Scump. And the lawsuit was brought to a California federal court just recently. And not only is it alleging that Call of Duty leagues and tournaments had a monopoly on the esports market, but they're also alleging violations of antitrust laws. Now, these two gamers are alleging that Activision Blizzard actively prevents potential competitors from entering the market and even imposes financially oppressive terms on players and team owners. So, like, for example, these two gamers are claiming that they were coerced into accepting unfavorable contracts, and apparently teams were required to pay a $27.5 million entry fee. I don't know if that's combined or separate, but yeah, I mean, that's very high. They're also alleging that they had to share revenue with Activision, and they had to give the company exclusive rights to sponsor contracts that they did not agree with. And so they're basically saying that Activision kind of had a very big restriction on these teams in that they could not earn any revenue from anyone other than Activision, and that these contracts were basically the only way to enter this sort of esports gaming market. Now, according to this lawsuit, the market for Call of Duty esports was diverse up until 2019. So before 2019, they had a lot of different hosts for Call of Duty esports tournaments. So they had, in addition to Activision hosting them, they had MLG hosting them, and I didn't even know this, but even GameStop would host a lot of tournaments, back when GameStop was relevant. But they're saying that in 2019, Activision allegedly began imposing demands on top players and teams, which they're saying was financially restrictive, and they're saying violated antitrust laws. Now, as far as how much they are asking, it's kind of bizarre. Like, half the articles I'm seeing are saying they are asking for $100 million, and then the other half of the articles I'm seeing are saying they're asking for $680 million. Two very specific numbers. I don't know why there's that gap in information, so I guess I really can't specifically say how much they're asking for, but it's at least $100 million. Now, Activision has already responded to the lawsuit, and they're stating that the two gamers had demanded tens of millions of dollars to avoid litigation, and when their demands were not met, they ended up filing the lawsuit. So we'll see how long this is dragged out, how far this really goes, and if it ends up getting settled or not. Maybe it fizzles out, or maybe these two gamers even win the lawsuit, who knows. One thing is for sure though, the outcome of this new lawsuit could have significant implications for the Call of Duty esports community, and just in general how they go about hosting these tournaments, these game events, and what kind of rules they impose on the teams that are competing. We haven't seen a great gaming market over, the last year or two with a lot of layoffs, and Activision has been no stranger to this. So this definitely just adds one more thing to their financial stress. We'll see how it turns out, and we will see if this ends up shaking up the Call of Duty esports community.